Hey guys, welcome back to No Man's Sky. I'm SurvivalBob, and I don't like doing these kind of videos. I really don't. But there's something we need to talk about, and it's kind of how Hello Games has messed up. In my last video that a lot of y'all watched, I had a lot of agreement, I had a lot of support, and I had some disagreement, and a few people that became unhinged in the comments section, and that's kind of normal for something like that, so I kind of expected it. But what really surprised me and kind of changed my mind on a little bit of things was I've got some friends, people that I consider friends in the community, that were really hurt by this update. And I didn't fully understand their point of view until some of them actually expressed it in a productive way in the comments section. Now, unfortunately, the people that are screaming and yelling, and I get being pissed off, but you don't win people over to your side or even let them understand your point of view if all they hear is hate and vitriol and screaming. So I didn't hear a lot of that. But when I saw friends of mine like Serious Lee's and Purple Duck, people who I do consider friends, sharing with me how they were actually hurt by this update, and there were others too, guys. I read hundreds and hundreds of comments over the last couple days. I get it. And I think Hello Games did mess up, especially considering that this, albeit a small percentage, because in my poll, it's several thousand people have voted now, and I'll show you again. It's still a relatively small percent that say they hate it and they're never going to play again. But the problem is that very small percent was some of the most passionate people about that game, or about this game. And I guess you have to be passionate about a game in order to be that upset about a change. And I get that, and that's a good thing. So let's talk a little bit about where I think Hello Games messed up, and maybe what they can do to resolve it, if they can resolve it, if they even want to resolve it. I don't know. I have no communication at all with Hello Games. None whatsoever. I know for a lot of you guys, myself and other creators, we're the spokespeople for Hello Games. But we're just creating content based on what we find on the internet. None of us have an inside scoop as far as I know. I don't have any extra information. But I do know that they listen to us and they watch some of our videos, because I've gotten feedback and I've seen things accordingly. And I don't think I'm that good of a guesser at guessing what's going to come up in the future. So let's talk about where I think they messed up and what I think they can do to fix it. So the first place I think they messed up is in communication. Communication is a huge deal for me and so many people. If this was the decision that was going to be made, it was always going to be met with a small degree of, or a small percentage of the player base being extremely upset. And I think they may have misjudged that, and if they didn't misjudge that, then they really screwed up if they knew it was going to happen, because then it should have even been more apparent that they needed to communicate that. Because the percentage that they did make mad are some of the players who've been around the longest and put the most hours in the game. And here's what I mean by that. So from what I get, the argument that from the people that were hurt most by this was that these are the people who their enjoyment in the game is different from mine. Their enjoyment in the game is becoming the absolute best in what they can be in this game. Getting the absolute best ship, getting the absolute best gear, getting the absolute best upgrades, being able to fly the farthest, being able to maneuver the best, being able to one-shot enemies, and basically be a tank. Being able to explore without worrying about filling up their life support or their hazard protection. And these are the guys who painstakingly try to find not just 6 S-Class modules, but the 6 best S-Class modules. And they find an S-Class freighter the hard way, right? So they've spent hundreds of hours in many cases in this game to get their characters the way they want. And then they open up the game and they find basically everything in their room has been smashed and thrown about. And then when they start to try to pick up the pieces, they find that they've lost half of their upgrade ability. Now, it's not half of their total ability because the upgrades add a percentage to it, but it's still probably dropping them 30, 40% of what they had because they had maxed out those upgrades. And yeah, I get that. I get that. If I had spent hundreds of hours doing something and the way I enjoyed playing the game was taken away from me, I would be really pissed and hurt. I would feel like betrayed, especially because generally these people are ones that are apostles of No Man's Sky on Twitter and in Reddit and in other places, on YouTube as well. One of my buddies has said he just doesn't even feel like continuing his series anymore, which I hate. These guys loved this game and loved the way they played it and shared that and found others the same. And that's part of the community that we built. We say No Man's Sky has the best community, and I really think we do. But that community includes a bunch of different play styles. And that's what's cool about it, is there are so many different play styles. And I know I said in my last video, you guys do what you want to do. You play what you want to play, how you want to play, and don't tell me how I have to play. And I still believe that. But what I didn't take into account is the way that they like to play, their favorite way to play was taken away. And I didn't see that when I was making those other comments, because that's not the way I play and the way I think most people do play. But it is a percentage of people that care about this and have cared about it for the longest time. And so the fact that Hello Games did not communicate this out beforehand is a mistake. Now, how could this have been solved? Well, if they had to do this, then there needed to be some reasoning behind it. That would have helped. But if Hello Games would talk to us and allow us to test this, some of us, a small group, it doesn't have to be me, it doesn't have to be creators, but Hello Games, you guys know enough about your community to be able to pick some people to get a group of folks that will tell you the truth about what this update's going to do and how they're going to feel about it, especially something like this. Now, you can have secrecy on, Sentinel updates and Frontiers updates and new content updates. That's totally fine. I don't like it, but I get why that's a thing. And if you want to do it that way, it's kind of fun and there's a game around it. But when you're going to totally change the way that a percentage of players actually play the game and basically tell them you can't play that way anymore, that is a miss. That's a big miss. And the fact that you didn't test it and let these people try it out and really get some good feedback beforehand is a big miss in my opinion too. Now, maybe there is some secret group of players that test stuff out. I doubt it though. I imagine it's just the devs. But even if there is, communicate that to us. Tell us. Now, Sean did more communicating than I've seen in a long time ever, and heard about since the launch. So the fact that he did go out and start telling these are the changes, I think this is where Sean messes up, is he only talks about the things that are good changes. And I maybe he sees all the changes as good changes, but you've got to be honest with yourself and say that there's a percentage of players that are not going to be able to play the way they want to play anymore. And they're not going to view that as a good change because they don't see where you're building this in the future. Maybe you got something for them. I don't know. But if you do, you got to tell them. Now, I see they walked back on some of these changes a little bit because I feel like they do listen to us and realize that they've upset some people. I hope it's not too little too late. I fear it may be. But I did read in the patch notes this morning for the experimental branch that they are adding more technology slots, and they fixed hyperdrives and freighters and a few other things. I'll put a link to those patch notes, and I know some other creators have probably made videos on them already as well. But what they are doing is giving more technology slots to existing saves. So if you had a bunch of technology in your cargo or general, I don't know if it's based on that or if they're just going to say, instead of 30, we're going to give you 50 or something. I don't know what they're doing, but they said more technology slots for existing players. And I know people that were really upset that they had maxed out their character and then they had to go spend 8 hours maxing out the slots again. Or they had to do something which in their mind was cheating, which was move some of the sliders and give themselves that stuff for free. So that brings me to my next point. The first place, like I said, that I feel like they messed up is if you're going to change the way a percentage of players play the game and take it away from them, in essence, you got to communicate that if this is a player base that you have appreciated and that has kept you going over the years, and it has. These are some of the most passionate players. Now, some of these guys, I will say, are going about communicating this in a horrible way, and that's what's pissing off some folks because they're just straight screaming. That doesn't fix anything, okay? This is the only part I'm going to lecture on is how you communicate with other people. You need to communicate in a way that you want to be communicated with if you want to make any change. Now, if you just want to bitch and scream, go at it, but know that you're not going to get anything done. And if that makes you feel better, by all means, you do you, and I'll just ignore the shit out of it like I always do. But if you communicate in a good way, like a lot of these people did in my comments section, and say, look, here's how it really hurt me and here's why, I get that, and I'll go to bat for you, even if it's not the way I feel, because I empathize with that. I do, because I've had games that I've loved that I felt like the devs have just dumped on after I spent probably hundreds and thousands of hours in a game, and then the devs just said, you know what, we don't care about solo players anymore, we're going to focus on PvP, and we're just not going to do anything over here, when they had lots of broken stuff that never got fixed over here. So I get it, and I've been there, and I'll go to bat for you guys on that. The second thing that I think that they really messed up on is the achievement system and the way that they allow people to customize the game. Do I think customization is needed? Absolutely. Am I happy with the way it's implemented? I don't think so. And here's why. Now, I don't care about achievements personally. I still haven't even gotten all my Steam achievements yet. And I'm okay. That's fine. That's fine. But I know a lot of people do care about that, and that's part of their gaming experience and how they play. They want to get platinum on PlayStation, or they want to get all the achievements or something like that. And I'll be honest with you, it does feel good when I do have all the achievements. But the way they've done it, I think needs to be tweaked, and I'm hoping there's still time for this, because there is a group of people who gets a sense of achievement by achieving things in a box with set rules. And when you basically say, here's your sandbox, there's no rules, and you still get achievements, that makes the people who do work based on those achievements feel that their experience has been cheapened or taken away from them. So that is a miss on Hello Games, and that's a mess up. Where I think that can be fixed is easily by saying, either locking it in at the beginning, or saying achievements are only available if you lock into normal mode or survival mode or permadeath mode, and you can't change it afterwards. Like in Minecraft, they have a button that says allow cheats, and once you hit allow cheats, it says that you're not going to get achievements on this save anymore. Do that. And so if somebody has a normal mode save or a permadeath save and they've gotten all their achievements, and then they want to take it and just check out the new content as it comes up, and give themselves some easy mode stuff sometimes, that's okay. They can turn it off, and they'll lose those achievements. They won't lose the achievements they got, but they won't be able to gain any more. But for someone to be able to go on in permadeath mode, then turn all the sliders to easy and get to the center and get all of these achievements, cheapens it for those of us who did it the hard way. Now, I didn't do it the hard way either. I used a portal and did it in like 2 hours. But I did it within the game, the confines of the game, so I felt a sense of achievement by figuring out a way to do it that was quicker and smarter, in my opinion. So I do get that sense of achievement, and I do think the achievement system needs to be fixed if it's not that way already. Now, I haven't done significant testing on this, but from what I'm hearing and what I'm reading and what I'm understanding, this is the case. And I'm sure achievements was not in the forefront of their mind when they did this. It was the player experience and letting players choose how they experience the game. And that's a good thing. But they missed, again, on how the players feel about their sense of achievement in accomplishing something that hasn't been accomplished. We explore to find things that haven't been found before, and that's a sense of achievement, and that's a good thing. But we also do things, and we're a society that likes to achieve things. And when you give us goals to achieve via the achievements in Steam or PlayStation or Xbox or Switch, I guess, and then you say, go get these, but do it however you want, that cheapens it. it does cheapen it. Now, it would not, for me, it wouldn't cheapen it if I did it the right way, and if somebody else did it the wrong way, I still got my sense of achievement. But I've already done it for new players coming in, and for people who really do want to max out either their technology or max out their achievements. That's where we got the misses from Hello Games, in my opinion. There are always things people are mad about, but generally those aren't game-changing things that take away the main way that a lot of people experience joy in this game. Now, I don't think those are the only things that those people experience joy in, but that is one of the driving senses for their exploration, is to find the best and to be the best and to get the best in everything, or to get those achievements. That drives their exploration. So taking away those drivers hurts, and I get that. Hello Games, Sean, Tim, any of you guys, if you guys are listening to this, I know you listen to the players, and I believe in my heart that y'all are doing the right thing, trying to do the right thing by your player base, and also trying to run a business and get new players into the game. And I think you could achieve both with a little bit more communication and with, I mean, that would have solved this problem. If you would have had a group of players, a council of players, something like that, that are veterans, new, from different perspectives and different play styles, and you let them test this stuff out, you don't have to listen. I mean, you don't have to do everything we say, because we're going to say some crazy shit. And I'm saying I'm probably not even going to be involved in that. But if you would just listen to what they say and take that in and think about it, and then consider how that affects the game, it would mean a lot to us. Now, if you do all that and you still decide, you know what, we still have to make this decision, communicating that would help too. Hey, we understand that a group of you guys isn't going to be able to play this way anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to allow backwards compatibility on Steam, right? A lot of games do that. You can back up to different versions. That would have solved the problem, right? There are ways to solve the problems if you care enough to want to solve them. And that's what Hello Games is missing right now, is they haven't shown us that they care enough to solve these specific problems, because they are so egregious in some people's minds. I don't think they were intentional. I don't think they were made maliciously, but it was a big miss. And so I'd like to see them come and try to fix some of these things. And I want to get these players back, because they are a big part of the community. They're friends of mine, and I think the community is missing something without them. I'll never be a min-maxer. That's not how I roll. But I don't want those guys not in the community. I want them here. And we didn't lose all of them. Overall, I like the direction that they're going. I like what I'm seeing. There's other things I don't like, and I talked a little bit about the UI, and I talked a little bit about those kind of things, but those aren't really game altering. Those are quality of life. These other two issues are game altering for people. And if I missed one, guys, let me know in the comments section down below. If I missed a reason that's taking away why you enjoy the game and how you're playing it, let me know. Now, if they haven't added something and that's what you want and that would make you enjoy it, that's a different story than taking something away, guys. I think that's enough of me talking. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it all the way to the end, hit that like button, hit that dislike button, whichever you want to hit. It's fine with me. Leave a comment. Let me know. If you're reasonable in your comments, I will read them, and I'll try to reply, or at least heart it to let you know that I read it. If you want to scream and yell at me, knock yourself out, feel better. Good luck to you on that. And remember, if you're going to be a Bob, have fun with it. And honestly, Hello Games, that's the problem, is you made some of my Bobs not be able to have fun with it anymore. And I want everybody to be able to do that. So we'll see you later, travelers. Take care. And I hope you guys listen, Hello Games.